Joining us here at a very busy time for your organisation. Can you bring us up to date on the situation on the ground in Gaza right now when it comes to aid and where it's getting to?
Yes, we have seen an improvement in the delivery of aid since the pause kicked in. Finally, there's been on average 200 trucks coming in. Fuel is coming in, which is absolutely fundamental, and cooking gas for the first time. We're also seeing a movement of convoys, humanitarian convoys, to the northern parts of the Gaza Strip for the first time since the war began more than 50 days ago, noting though that the bulk of the humanitarian needs are in the middle and in southern areas in particular.
And in terms of the distribution of that, you talk about the north. So this is significant because you're able now to get much needed aid to the north as well.
Yes, this is considered indeed a breakthrough where convoys, both from the United Nations, but also from the Palestine Red Crescent, they are able to go through to the north and provide some assistance. Having said that, there is an Israeli forces inspection point before they reach people in need in the north. And we do hope that the pause extends. And with that extension, that flow of humanitarian assistance across the Gaza Strip.
Now showing on BBC Real.
Fuel, that's something that aid agencies have been in particular need of, especially when it comes to ensuring that hospitals can continue to function. How much has this latest consignment of fuel that has finally entered Gaza changed the way that you're able to treat people who are in need?
Look, it's very positive. Any drop of fuel coming into the Gaza Strip is positive. As you may remember, we had run out of fuel at some point at UNWRA, which forced us to bring our humanitarian operation to a halt for a few days. And now with this breakthrough with the delivery of fuel that we hope will be regular, we hope that this is not a one-off. We hope that this is not just because of the pause. It's absolutely critical that fuel is getting into Gaza for humanitarian purposes, including, like you said, to medical facilities.
And what more can you tell us about the situation on the ground in Gaza? We've been hearing stories of people having to burn their doors just to create fire, to cook. You know, real desperate long lines that we're seeing images of as people queue to get very limited food supplies. What more can you tell us about the picture that you're hearing from your colleagues on the ground?
Well, I was just in Gaza myself and I saw it firsthand. We were in the southern parts of the Gaza Strip. We visited one of the UNWRA shelters. You know, we are hosting right now more than 1 million people in United Nations UNWRA shelters. The needs are huge. People were still arriving to the shelters, even though the war was in its 50th day. I was there just before the pause started. Heavy bombardment during the day, during the night, constant. Buildings would be shaking. People were anticipating the pause. They were waiting for it. They were asking for it. They were terrified, exhausted. Many of them have lost everything and they need everything. In that shelter that I visited, I will never forget this one man who was with his 5 children living in a 4 square meter makeshift shelter outside in what was the parking lot of that training center. And he was using his shoe as a cushion.
Wow, there's no words for that really, Juliette. Thank you very much for sharing your insights, having been to Gaza yourself, and of course having a first-hand access to your staff on the ground. And of course your agency does very important work. Thanks very much for joining us here.
Thank you. Thanks.